We are going to move on to Jack Smith. We have not talked about Jack Smith in a while, but Jack Smith just recently filed something that Donald Trump, I'm sure, is, well, I think a lot of Trump people and Donald Trump that thinks that this is at some point going to help him. But from everything that I've seen, not necessarily. There is like I said, they filed something to the Supreme Court to see whether or not he was basically immune from prosecution because he was president at the time. And a lot of Democrats, or not, I shouldn't say Democrats, a lot of people who want Donald Trump to go to jail are nervous about this filing because they are afraid that a Donald Trump Supreme Court may rule in his favor. But from my understanding, it's not really worked out that way. You have a face, Lana. What's the face? Do you know something?
Okay, so no. Well, the face is a couple of faces. Like, why would they be nervous that he, as a Supreme Court, like nervous about the filing because it's going to go to the Supreme Court anyway?
Right.
Okay, so that's that point. That it's going there.
Well, because I think it's the same thing. I think a lot of people, including myself, I don't understand every bit of this process. So I think that they hear Supreme Court and they think, oh, it's Donald Trump's and this is the end all be all. But you're absolutely right. But the move here is to do it now and get it out of the way. So that way we have the ruling.
Court.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's, people say it's a roll of the dice, but from my understanding, it turns out it's not. There are some people that were on a panel on CNN that talked about this. Before anybody goes, oh, there they go with CNN again. I don't watch CNN. I just happen to see these people talk about it. I will guarantee you they are better experts on this than me and not you, Lana. But you out there making those comments,
for sure.
I'll let you speak for yourself. So, but we're gonna let's watch the clip of them talking about Jack Smith's filing with the Supreme Court.
Men this afternoon, the special counsel arguing nothing could be more vital to our democracy than that a president who abuses the electoral system to remain in office is held accountable for criminal conduct. I know this is just coming out, Kristen, but are you hearing anything from the Trump campaign?
They haven't responded yet, but I do think that we should pay attention to, as Elliot said, looking at the timeline. And that's really what it is about for the Trump people as well. When I talk to them about when this trial is going to happen, they do believe that the March trial is going to happen before the election, that of course being the special counsel's investigation into his overturning or attempting to overturn the 2020 election. But they do still think there is some wiggle room because of the fact that this was going to the appeals court, because of the fact that they believe that they can delay it. I mean, they are going to try and do every single thing they possibly can to push this past the election because they think that Donald Trump can win the election and he's not sitting in trial every single day. So that is very interesting in this to me, the fact that they have clearly kind of called them on their game and said, okay, you're waiting here, you push this to the appeals court, now we're just going to get it over with. So that takes one element out. One of the things that actually Trump and his team were relying on, having this be a lengthy process.
And there's a little bit of gamesmanship there because the Trump team could have appealed to a three-judge panel of the Court of Appeals. If they didn't get a decision they liked there, they could have then appealed it to the full Court of Appeals. And then if they didn't like the decision there, they could have then taken it to the Supreme Court. Even under the best of circumstances for the Trump team, that could have taken months. And I think, like you said, it's calling the bluff. Yeah. Now, again, the Supreme Court doesn't have to agree to it, as we know, but this was a very aggressive step by the prosecutors to move this case along.
It's huge because really the Trump legal strategy boils down to delay, delay, delay. And there was a hope that this constitutional question, which has never been decided before, would take a little while to get through the appellate process, possibly even go en banc, then go to the Supreme Court. And they hope that it could at least delay this trial, which has a ripple effect on other criminal trials, until after the election. So it's clear the special counsel is like, nope, we're going to try this option. This is aggressive. This is the first time they've gone to the Supreme Court. Now the question is whether the Supreme Court wants to do this, if they want to completely reject the request or meet them halfway and maybe just say to the appellate court, look, we all know time is of the essence here. There is a public interest. Let's move it along. Let's not sit on this one for a year.
basically what you were saying, and that, I mean, they're basically bypassing these appellate courts and all that stuff to allow Donald Trump to delay, as they say, because they do believe he feels like he has a good chance of winning the election, and it's possible that he could. So Jack Smith is basically saying, we're not going through this bullshit. We're going to get right to the ruling that we know, and as Lana just said and pointed out, that is going to eventually get there. Let's just knock all this shit out and let's go. And I brought up the Palmer report before, and this guy seems to know what he's talking about, but he, is basically, he calms the water for a lot of people who lose their minds over this stuff. And, basically what he was saying is it is a good move for Jack Smith because the Supreme Court has proven that they're not just giving into whatever Donald Trump wants and, at all times. And I think if they look at any, if I'm not mistaken, there might have been something in some civil courts that were in previous rulings that stated because you were president, it had nothing to do with it. And I might be wrong, so forgive me if I got that wrong. But I think the move here is just to say, let's get past all this crap and let's move forward.
Yeah. I just think all this talk is just media talk. We got to big this up because there's only one decision that can be made. Of fucking course you cannot commit crimes as fucking president and then be immune. Like all this chatter that we're doing, like, oh, what is the Supreme Court gonna? There's only one thing and one thing only that they can do and how they can rule. That's it. If they want to kick it back to the appellate court and be like, you guys do what you have to do, but you got to do it real quick.
Yep.
The appellate court can only do one thing, and it's to say, you're not fucking immune. Because guess what? That means that the guy that's in there now, that y'all already call the crime family, he can be doing the crime in. Y'all can't come back and be like, well, when Biden was in the White House, he was doing the crime. Oh, how is he doing the crime if he's the president? Because the presidents are immune. Like, you can't, that's not going to be it. That's precedent. That would set a whole fucking precedent.
Yeah, I mean, and
there's only one ruling with that. And they know that they're only the tactic, like everyone's saying it's all to delay and like, yeah, kick it back to the appellate court.
And see, that's the thing I don't understand, though. And again, that's why I talked to you about it, too. I don't understand. So we could go all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court could kick it back to a lower court. I thought the Supreme Court was the end-all, be-all.
Well,
what is the kicking?
They want to say that they want to hear it. I don't think they've agreed to hear it yet.
I actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think they did.
I know Trump has to respond, but I didn't think they agreed to take it on.
You know what? You may be right, and I thought I saw something, and I'm sure that probably would be pretty big news if they did agree to take it on. But
I think they gave.
I think the idea is that they will, right?
But I don't know if they can until Trump responds.
Right, that's right. That's exactly right. They gave him a certain date to respond.
The 20th, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And they
okay.
have to respond, and then I think once they hear the motion, the response, then they figure out if they want to take it on or say no. You have to do the proper procedure, do the appellate. But now the thing, if they do go to send it back to the appellate and don't tell them to speed it up, then that becomes a problematic thing. That's the thing where they're working for Trump, right? If they send it back to the appellate and the appellate takes like months or whenever they want to, which is still ridiculous because how hard is this? Like, this one is not rocket science.
Slam dunk for anybody that's serious about the law.
Right. Like, how, and what? Okay, you guys said you can't indict a sitting president or whatever the fuck Comey and all of them were saying, right? And that's not even a law, right? Isn't that some unwritten rule? Like, a sitting president can't be indicted? Is that what that was?
Correct.
Right. So now you're saying that a sitting president can actually commit crimes, though. Like, it's
I
not.
think that was the premise too of oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Who was the guy who did the whole investigation?
Comey?
No, not
Oh.
Comey.
Uh,
Oh, damn it. Robert De Niro played him on Saturday Night Live all the time when he was doing the I'll remember his name, but
I
the
just
older
know.
gentleman that they just said that would anyway. But thank you for explaining that, and that's why I am grateful that you got onto the show, because if I had to go on and do this live by myself,
Oh, you would have been fine.
Okay, I appreciate your confidence in me. If anybody's out there watching, if you can give me the name of the person who investigated the whole Russia investigation, Robert Mueller.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I think he said the same thing. He was basically like, if he wasn't president, that this could be prosecuted.
Right.
Yep.
Right. You get indicted after. Like, stop playing with us right now. Stop playing these fucking mind games. Like, that's what it frustrates me to even hear them talk about this Jack Smith thing, because we're actually talking about Trump's, like, what they're saying, like it's some real possibility. Like, he could be found. He was because literally, if a court finds that, every single case is just thrown out. Like,
then you are really going to push for one of those authoritarian type presidents that can do whatever the fuck they want, and we are no longer the United States of America, and even these
every
constitutional assholes who love the Constitution will throw that fucking book right out the window when they get their authoritarian president.
Every criminal can run for president because you can commit all the crimes you want as a president.
Yeah.
It's done. That's why this is stupid. We already know what the end result of this. So Jack Smith is right. Go to Supreme Court. Supreme Court should absolutely hear this and just fucking say, no, you can't do that, man. And send it back. What the fuck is he going to do to them? He can't do anything to them. They're already on the Supreme Court.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Shit anymore.
It's a joke, and that's why I have these when I get these comments all the time on these people, and again, the funny thing is that they think they're getting under my skin, or they think they bother me. I promise you don't. I mean, it's laughable because all of it is incoherent. A lot of it doesn't make any sense. But what I sometimes, every once in a while, somebody has a half-ass attempt at making trying to at least get a civil discussion going. And as I try to tell them, you and I, brother, are in the same boat. You don't understand. You think that this is going to be good for you. These tyrannical, authoritarian type dictator like guys, they fucking laugh at you. They don't like you. They will fuck you the same way they're going to fuck me. So, I mean, it's not going to work out well for you.
But that guy won. That's what's most important.
Well,
he won. Right. Trump won. You're a loser.